Hello, I'm Allie.
I'm Deb.
Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Stilettos.
Hello, and welcome back to Coffee and Stilettos. I'm Allie with your co-host Deb, and I'm so excited today. We're going to talk about the beautiful transition of fall and creating a wellness and self-care routine that works for you. So there's a lot of great reasons why you need to be able to watch your body rhythms. We're going to talk about why do you have to transition your self-care, your routines into different seasons. Deb's going to talk about how does this correlate to your mind-body connection and our tips of the best self-care rituals that we have, along with some nutritional tips for the fall. So I find it very important to transition into fall because in the summer, my energy is so much more magnetic in the morning. With the sunrise come, let's say 5, I'm starting to get up and feel into those rhythms. And with that, it's a big boost of energy to get outside, get going, and really embrace the day. So when we are transitioning into fall, that's when the sun's gonna slowly creep in the mornings. We have a cool breeze. So that quick step that I used to have starts to transition a little bit. And it's a great time to honor what does the mind body really need? How can we nurture those self-care rituals as well as like, fueling our body for it? So this transition, it's a great time to navigate and start to think, how can I how can I do more things that will work for me in the time that I have with what my body wants? So, Deb, how is the mind body connection important during these transitions?
Oh my gosh, I don't know about you, but sometimes in the fall and winter, when the days are getting shorter, I can get a little sad. Like
Mm,
I suffer from seasonal affective disorder, and it's a real thing. When you don't have the sunlight and the weather's cooler, you don't want to go outside, you don't want to move your body as much, but that's the exact time that you need to be doing those things. And certainly, you might want to sleep a little longer. You might notice that you're just kind of in a low mood more often. That's certainly something I suffer from. Dietary changes, like you crave carbs. So there's so many things that you can do, but dressing certainly for the weather to make sure that you're comfortable when you want to get outside and maybe go for a walk. There's light therapy that you can do that's been effective. It's something I've never actually tried. There's obviously over-the-counter drugs that you can take. I take it's called 5-HTP, and I'm just throwing it out there. It's a natural mood enhancer.
mm,
Feel free to make sure that it's right for you before you take it. Or you can go see your doctor or consult a therapist to see you through it, because it's a real thing and a lot of people suffer from it. There's so many options of help out there. But it's so important to really lean into what your body's telling you and to lean into your feelings and practice those self-care rituals that work for you. And I know we're going to be talking about that soon.
yeah, self-care is I think it's quite the buzzword. It's out there everywhere and there is a really great reason for it because it's important. You got to take care of yourself before you can help those around you, whether it be in your job, your family life, your friendships. So self-care, creating a ritual, I feel is very important. It allows that habit to be established, the things that we're going to set you up for a very well-nourished day. So I am going to start with the morning rituals. So in the fall, like we've mentioned, the sun isn't rising as quickly. So how can you maybe ease into your days a little bit more slowly than jumping up and doing the things right away? Is your body craving some more transition time? So some mindfulness techniques that really love in the mornings are journaling and just a quiet meditation and listening. So that works for me. However, sometimes it could be that cool walk in the morning, a light stretch, or having some hot water to start warming up your system. So, whatever you feel called to, it is very unique. What works for me isn't going to work for Deb or you. However, there might have been an element that I suggested that your morning routine can start, moving in a different direction depending on where you want to take it. So, mindfulness, gratitude, meditation, a little movement, picking one of those strategies that are going to help you flow into the day is really important. And as the night closes, it's just as important to get that great night's rest. So, how could you power down a little bit earlier? Could you, again, go back to gratitude, celebrate things that have happened, or now that you're harvesting all your hard work and you're connecting with people, how can you take into consideration all of your hard work over the last year and start taking a ritual in the evening of counting your blessings? I also enjoy warmth, whether it be a warm bath, a sauna, especially in the evening to help relax my nervous system. So, those could also be mindfulness tips that you take. If you're a busy mom or you have a family around you, could you incorporate that into an evening routine with your kids so that as you're winding down with them and creating a really beautiful mindfulness technique?
I love that.
Mhm.
And part of going into autumn, what we think about is all the fall ingredients and all the fall harvest. And a few of my favorites, and my son just cut his pumpkin the other day, but pumpkin, and they're so good for using in soups or pies or roasted with spices. And, apples, going apple picking. There's so many varieties, and this is their peak season. So make sure you grab an apple. But there's also, squash. I love butternut squash soup. And I think, when it gets to cooler weather, we're craving some of those like comfort foods. So for me, butternut squash, spaghetti squash is something I've been using a lot instead of just regular pasta. I've been replacing that, or replacing, cauliflower for mashed potatoes. Just, leaning into the fall harvest and making some swaps so it's not so necessarily carb heavy. Cranberries are delicious, pears, Brussels sprouts. There's so many options, and just, you can make beautiful comfort foods with beautiful ingredients, and it doesn't have to be high fat, high carb, because that is probably what we're going to be leaning into. But hot apple cider, I love it.
Something warm for our bellies. I
Yes.
can smell the flavors of all the spices and changing the tea flavors that I've been drinking.
Everybody loves a good, well, not everybody, a pumpkin spice latte. You see all the commercials for different lattes this time of year. So I don't know, find your favorites and try out new recipes with, the fall harvest that's all around us. And I love going to the market and buying local and supporting local too. And speaking of nutrition, moving your body is also so important. So what are some tips and tricks you have for staying active in the fall?
In Ontario, it's absolutely gorgeous this year. The colors and vibrancy around the neighborhoods and into the forest is beyond spectacular. It's one of those things that I find a picture will never be able to do. The fall colors justice. So I first and foremost, it's cooler weather, getting a little bundled and going out for a fall nature walk is incredible. And even around the neighborhoods, explore a new neighborhood around you, because when I've been driving around, it's like the world looks a little different as the leaves are starting to fall and release. And I find it so relaxing that we can see such beautiful vibrancy from just the colors around us. And that is my favorite thing to do in the fall, as well as get back into my hot yoga practice. I definitely take a break during the summer because I enjoy hot yoga, and going from a 30-degree weather day to a 32-degree weather environment is not my cup of tea. though getting back into some warmer, slower moving, activated sessions are the two favorites that I have for sure. What
I
about
love
you,
that.
Deb?
Yeah, I took a break from running in the summer, and I've just been getting back into it. But there is nothing like a nice fall afternoon to go for a run or walking my dog. Those are two things that I like to consistently do. But even just say that you're talking about the fall colors, but even like the decorations that people have around their house, like it's so beautiful. And just seeing all the colors change in the neighborhood too. And I think when we talk about mindfulness as well, it's being present, like, going for a walk and hearing the leaves like crumble between your feet, like being really present, and like the smell of the air changes, you smell those leaves on the ground, and just really taking it all in and embracing the fall season. So um, I encourage you to incorporate self-care into your fall routine as we are approaching change of seasons. We will be back next week talking about strategies for dealing with uncertainty and changing work environments. We appreciate you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your loved ones. And we will see you again next week for another episode of Coffee and Stilettos. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please share with your friends and rate and recommend on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. There will be links to more great resources in the description.